Hey guys, you know who this is? It's Mr. Ehrlich. Wait, that's not right. Mr. Morrow with another edition of Morrow Teaches Online. So this is the last new topic I am ever teaching you. Tears. Where's that emoji? Oh. So the last new topic we're teaching you is how do we add and subtract algebraic fractions. So we've learned how to simplify them. We've learned how to multiply and divide them. Now it's time to add and subtract them. So let's check the homework first. So just to kind of see the answers a little bit better, I'll circle them. Again, for number 3, if you wanted to write this on top as the numerator, that would have been fine too. I probably actually would have written it that way. Also, when we say simplify it, that means pull it apart as much as possible. Because we were noticing that some people, especially for like number 4, were taking this and turning it back into a trinomial. No! When you are simplifying it, you want it pulled apart as much as possible. We like the bubbles. Don't combine them again. That's silly. And there it is. So again, you can always pause the screen. If you have a question, please ask your teacher. Number 6. Yeah, there was a lot you could do with number 6. And there was your final answer. Okay. Remember, with division, yeah, go back to 6th grade. Keep, change, flip. And again, we're not talking about the kernel. That's KOC. So keep the first fraction. Change this to multiplying, and then flip the second one. And then do the mad canceling. Again, it's so common for you to mess up like one exponent or you forget something. Remember, when you're crossing it off, be neat so you can see what is left. So hopefully we did well on those. Number 10, I know it's tempting right here. I know it's tempting. You're looking at this and you're like, please, can I cross it off? No, it has to be the same bubble. So that's your final answer. And then again, keep, change, and flip it. And when you do that, then double bubble. And there's your answer. Not as pretty. Okay. With adding and subtracting, let's go back to elementary school / 6th grade. In order to add and subtract, there's one gigantic rule. The denominators have to be the same. You are not allowed to add or subtract unless the denominators are the same. So if they are the same, it's an easy question. Remember, you keep the denominator the same. Don't you dare write 16. Again, if you have 1 out of 8 objects and you get 4 more out of those 8 objects, now you have 5 out of those 8 objects, not 5 out of now 16 objects. And that's your answer. You can't simplify it, so you're done. Again, always check to see if the denominators are the same. They are. You get 3 over 15, and you can take a 3 out of both. So then you're left with 1/5. And there's your answer. So obviously this is not the whole topic. We're just trying to warm up your brain. The next one, kids go, oh my God, everything's different now. Now there's a variable. So what? Are the denominators the same? Yes. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 over x. And there's your answer. Okay, number 4, make sure they're all the same denominator. They are. So I know the denominator is going to be 4c. 11 plus 5 is 16. 16 minus 6 is 10. But you can simplify that. You can take a 2 out of the top and the bottom. So your final answer is 5 over 2c. Number 5, denominators are the same. Add the top. Keep the bottom the same. I don't know why I keep boxing it. It's kind of obvious what the answer is. Okay, you subtract the top. You get 8y over 5. So obviously I'm going through these kind of fast because these are the easy parts. It's when we get to the harder part. Then we got to make sure we're paying attention. Now, for this one's an interesting one. 2c minus 2d. Well, first of all, the denominators are the same, so it's over 5. Now, kids go, what am I supposed to do? 2 cats minus 2 dogs. What is that? Guess what it is? It's 2 cats minus 2 dogs. If you can't combine it, then don't combine it. There's your answer. That was kind of a stupid question. Number 8, x minus y plus z. Again, same kind of question. They're all denominators of 2. Now, since you can't combine different variables together, your answer is x minus y plus, plus z over 2. And number 9, all the denominators are the same. 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. And it's 9 over 9y. Now, be very careful, because we always see students screw up this part. The 9s cancel out. So a lot of kids will write this as their answer. Where is that y? It's in the denominator. When we cancel out, what is it really becoming? It's really becoming a 1. And if my stylus was working, this would make it a lot easier. Come on. I love how it registers the finger, but not the stylus. So remember, that's really big. No. What are you doing? It clearly is on a red. Oh, my goodness. Come on. There you go. Proud of you. Come on. All right. So you get 1 over y is your answer. Okay? 1 over y. Yeah. So don't write y, just 1 over y. Sorry, the stylus has been bothering me. Number 10, are the denominators the same? Yep. So add, you get 28z. Oh my goodness, stylus. Let me get this thing back up here. Why aren't you staying here and hanging out with me? Why do you keep disappearing? All right, so 28c over 12d. What can you take out of a 28 and a 12? You can take a 2 out. You can take a 4 out, actually. So you get 7c over 3d. Yup. So obviously these are easy because the denominator is the same. Again, you're going to see what happens when they're not. Now, for 11, kids go, oh my goodness, now there's more. So what? The denominator is 2, 2x plus 3x. Yes, we're going back to September and combining like terms. You get 5x. 1 plus 6 is 7. And now there's nothing you can do. So that's your answer. Number 12, you get over 16x. 4x plus 8x, 12x. 12 plus 4 is 16. Now, you do still need to simplify. What can you take out of a 12, a 16, and a 16? You can take a 4 out. So if you take a 4 out of all those numbers, what are you left with? 3x plus 4 over 4x. And then that's all you can do. Yeah. Now, 13, there's a reason it's starred. And a lot of students, if you tried to get ahead of me, you probably did it wrong. Here's why. When you subtract, you're not just subtracting 2x, you're subtracting the whole thing. So you have to distribute that negative. A lot of kids don't do that. So now when you distribute it, I'm just going to write this off to the side. Negative times 2x is negative 2x. Negative times 1 is negative 1 now. So now we're going to add them together. 5x minus 2x is 3x. Negative 4 minus 1 is negative 5. So be very careful with that, because a lot of kids will now write 3x minus 3 over 3 and then take out the 3's. And that's wrong. So be careful. So that happens with subtraction when it's a binomial or more. So the same thing happens with 14. You're not just subtracting that 9a, you're subtracting the whole numerator. So when you do that, you get negative 9a, and now you get a positive 6. So the denominator is still 12a. 12a minus 9a is 3a. Negative 15 plus 6 is negative 9. But now what can you take out of all those? You can take a 3 out. So your answer is a minus 3 over 4a. And there is your answer. The next one, this is where now it gets a little bit more difficult. Not that much more difficult yet. What do you notice about 15? That is correct. The denominators are now different. So now you need to find the common denominator. What does 5 and 4 both go into? And that's right, it's 20. So the easiest way is just saying, well, that's a 4, so multiply this side by 4. But remember, whatever you do to the top, you must do to the bottom. We learned it very well from our 6th grade teachers. And if that's a 5, multiply the top and the bottom by 5 and 5. So why do we do that? Because on top you get 4ab, and 4 times 5 is 20, plus 5ab, over 20. Now that the denominators are the same, now you can combine them. If you have 4 apple bananas and you get 5 more apple bananas, you now have 9 apple bananas. How cheeky. Over 20. There's nothing else I can do, so there's your answer. So the first rule must be, are the denominators the same? If they're not, you got to do something to make them the same. Number 16. 5a minus 3a, but the denominators are different. Now, obviously, it's the easiest to always pick the least common denominator, LCD. But again, you can find any common denominator. Like some students like to always do this. If that's a 6, multiply this by 6. If that's a 4, multiply this by 4. You can. You're just going to have to simplify more in the end. So let's try to find the least common denominator. So what does 6 and 4 both go into? They both go into 12. So how do you make a 6 look like a 12? You multiply by 2. But whatever you do to the bottom, you better do to the top. How do you make a 4 look like a 12? You multiply by 3. But whatever you do to the bottom, do to the top. So on top, you get 10a over 12 minus 9a over 12. Again, you know you did it correctly because the denominators have to be the same now. So 10a minus 9a is 1a. You could put the 1. You would never see that, though, on a multiple choice. 12 stays the same. 8 over 12. For 17, are those denominators the same? No. So what does 7 and 14 both go into? They both go into 14. So 2 times 7 is 14. Whatever you do to the bottom, do to the top. So you get 2a over 14 plus b over 14. Now, kids, once again, ask, what's 2a plus b? If you can't add it, just stick it together. 2a plus b over 14. You are not allowed to add those together. And for 18, again, do you think the variable makes any difference? Not right now. What does 4x and 2x both go into? They both go into 4x. I like to start with the numbers first. So you say, what does 4 and 2 both go into? 4. And since they both have an x, we don't even need to worry about that. So I got to multiply by 2 to the top and the bottom. So I get 9 over 4x. That stays the same. Plus 3 times 2 is 6. 2x times 2 is 4x. And when you add, you get 15 over 4x. And that is your answer. Yay. 19. Are the denominators the same? No, they are not. They both have b, so that's good. But one's an 8, one's a 4. So we got to multiply by 2 to make that also an 8b. So 9a over 8b minus 6a over 8b. A lot of students also forget to multiply the numerator also. So they'll multiply and get 8b, but they'll also write 3a on top. Yep, be careful. So you subtract the tops. 9 apples, take away 6 of them. You're left with 3 apples over 8 bananas. Because why not? Okay, variables. Do you think variables are any different? No. What does A and B both go into? How about AB? So what letter is this first one missing? It's missing a B. Whatever you do to the bottom, do to the top. This B is missing an A. So multiply the bottom and the top. Now, some kids go, should I write BA or AB? I mean, it doesn't matter. Personally, in math, we tend to go in alphabetical order. So I would like to make the denominator AB. Just saying. So B times 1, you know what? I'm skipping steps. I mean, I'm sure you can all see it. So you get B over AB plus A over AB. Again, keep them facing the same way. Don't write one AB and the other one BA, because then that will just confuse you. So personally, I'm going to put it in alphabetical order. So when I add it, my answer is A plus B over AB. If you wrote B plus A, that's fine too. 21. Let's see. Are they the same denominator? No. They both have S's, so I don't have to worry about that. But the first one's missing a T, so whatever you do to the bottom, do to the top. And the right one is missing an R. So multiply the bottom and the top. So you get 5T over RST plus 9R over RST. Now that they're the same denominator, keep it the same. And again, you can put the 5t first, you can put the 9r first. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to write 9r first plus 5t. And there's your answer. You can't simplify that. Okay, coming up on a few more questions. So, are those the same? No. Now, these ones are going to be the most annoying. But again, they're not. I mean, 22 and 23 are probably the hardest questions on the lesson. So if you can do that, you're fine. So 3 and 5. What do 3 and 5 both go into? They both go into 15. So multiply by 5. Now, this is why you got to be careful. You're not just multiplying the x by 5. You're multiplying the whole numerator. So we're going to have to distribute that. Again, we got to multiply by 3 to the bottom on this one. Just to make life easy, a lot of kids get freaked out when they see that. If you don't want to be that kid, just put the 3 in front. And I actually definitely would put the 3 in front, and I'll explain why in a second. So with 22, you get this as the numerator. 5 times x is 5x, plus 5 times 7 is 35 over 15. Now, this is why you got to be so careful. What are you distributing by? A lot of you probably just yelled out a 3. Nah. You're multiplying by a negative 3. That's why you can screw these up. So you get, and again, I'm just going to put plus in the middle because when you distribute that negative, you're technically turning it to an addition equation. Because think about it. Remember when we did last year KCO, keep change opposite? Well, that's what we're doing. So negative 3 times 2x becomes a negative 6x. Negative times negative 3 is positive 9 over 15. Now you're just going to add them. Okay. And now we combine like terms. 5x minus 6x is negative 1x, or just negative x. 35 plus 9 is 44 over 15. Not a pretty answer, but it is the answer. Same kind of question for number 23. What does 5 and 4 both go into? 20. So you got to multiply this by 4, but remember, you're going to distribute that 4 in. And then what are you multiplying this by? 5. But remember, when you distribute this, it's not a 5. It's a negative 5. So be careful. So the first fraction, you get 12y, because again, 4 times 3y is 12y, and 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. And 4 times 5 is 20. And the next one, again, it changes to an addition problem, because again, we are doing like a keep change opposite. So negative 5 times y is negative 5y. Negative 5 times a negative 2 is a positive 10. And you get 20 on the bottom. Now we're ready to combine like terms. 12y minus 5y is 7y. Negative 16 plus 10 is negative 6 over 20. There's no number that goes into all three of them. That's not a 1. So that is your answer. And for 24, d and 4d are the denominators. So they both go into 4d. So we got to multiply this by 4, and we got to multiply that by 4. So this is actually a much easier question. So you get 4d plus 24 over 4d, plus, we don't even need to touch the other fraction because it's all good. And 4d plus d is 5d. Why don't we put it over 4d? And then 24 minus 3 is 21. And there's nothing you can do, so that's your answer. Okay, perimeter. If it's talking about a triangle, why don't you just draw a triangle? Visuals help students. Just draw it. X over 2 is one side, 3x over 5 is another side, and 7x over 10 is the last side. And it says, what is the perimeter? Remember, with perimeter, you add up all the sides. So it's just saying, what's x plus 2 plus 3x over 5? Oh, hello. 3x over 5 plus 7x over 10. Well, again, the denominators have to be the same. So with the first fraction, well, what does 2, 5, and 10 all go into? They all go into 10. So you're going to have to multiply the first one by 5. To make a 5 look like a 10, you're going to have to multiply this one by 2. And the last one's all good. So we get 5x over 10 plus 6x over 10 plus 7x over 10. And when you add those up, remember the denominator stays the same. 5x, 6x is 11x, 7x is 18x. Now, the reason you would lose a point is because you didn't simplify it. What goes into 18 and 10? A 2. So you get 9x over 5. And there is your perimeter. How pretty. Okay, is this the last one? This is the last one. Oh my goodness. Okay, this one is kind of tough. So perimeter of a rectangle. So let's draw a rectangle. I mean, it's not that tough, but a lot of you fall for the trick. X plus 3 over 4 and x minus 4 over 3. The biggest mistake we see is when we ask for perimeter, you guys will go, oh, just this plus this, done. Yeah, because we all know a rectangle has 2 sides. Good job, Knucklehead. So, again, there are 4 sides. So you could fill in the other sides in x plus 3. You could do this. Honestly, I think the easiest way is just saying there's 2 lengths. Okay, so 2x plus 3 over 4 plus, notice how I'm not multiplying the denominator though. So 2x plus 3 over 4 plus 2x minus 4 third. All right? Because again, there's 2 lengths, there's 2 widths. Okay? I'm actually going to multiply them first because there could be a lot of confusion with the distributing. So I'm actually going to distribute first. So you get 2x plus 6 over 4 plus 2x minus 8 over 3. Okay? But now the problem is, oh no, the denominators are different. So what does 4 and 3 both go into? They both go into 12. So let's multiply this whole numerator by 3. Let's do the denominator. And we got to multiply this by 4. And we got to multiply that by 4. So when you do this, your final answer is 6x plus 18 over 12 plus 8x minus 32 over 12. Ew, that's an 8. There we go. Let's combine like terms. 6x, 8x, 14x, 18 minus 32 is negative 14 over 12. And here we go. When you simplify it, what can you take out of all those? Yes, you can take a 2 out. How cheeky. So, when you take a 2 out, you get 7x minus 7 over 6. And there is your perimeter. So once again, it's been a pleasure to teach you guys. And I always miss you guys. Bye. Nope, don't want to do that. Gotta cancel the video. There it